have I got some a little bit of story information for you guys today. Ah, today, we are wanting to talk about my experiences at a family gathering and the time that it actually what actually expired over this coming weekend. So this weekend, we celebrated my mum's 60th birthday. Now, she didn't actually turn 60 this weekend. She turned 60 last year. And because of COVID things and there being a pandemic, we weren't really able to, have a party at said time of her 60th. And that was a big bummer, especially for my mum and for my sister, who very much wanted to have a big time party for everyone to enjoy and, get together and have a great time. So we basically thought that we would throw it almost 3/4 of the year later, at the very end of August, when we didn't understand what the weather would be like, how we were going to do it, and the amount of people that showed up. Now, we've never really done big gathering of this type of people, and we've never done a lot of food or a lot of things to make sure that people know exactly what they're eating and everyone has a good time and drinks are served. Basically, beforehand, we had to get things prepared, meals prepared. I made some bread because, I've got to flex on the relatives and make sure the people know that my focaccia is the best. I mean, it wasn't the best. I'll happily say that, right? It wasn't the best. But, let's just keep that between, us two. And then no one at my family gathering has to know about it. That would be... I made a beautiful, caramelized red onion, right? And oh my god, with some halloumi as well. It was just great. So the party was yesterday, which was a Sunday, and the actual preparation was Saturday evening, Sunday morning. So on Sunday morning, I spent the longest time in bed. I was like, I'm gonna drag this out as best as I possibly can, because as soon as I walk downstairs, as soon as I walk into that kitchen, it's battle stations. It's a go-go time. I'm given stuff to do, and it's you're doing it. You're going ahead with it. You can't stop. This is your thing for the next however long. And my first protocol of the day was cutting onions. And to be honest, I didn't have to cut a lot of onions. I had to cut 6. Me cutting onions constantly, I was crying a little bit. Weren't that bad. I'm getting used to the idea of cutting onions, but cutting a lot and making sure that they're cut. And I remember having to go to my sister because my sister was very much, I didn't want to ruin it for her. It was her big thing for my mum. I wanted to make sure everything was right. So I was like, what kind of, how do you want these cut? And she was like, I want them cut into rings. And I was like, oh my god. So I cut the first one into rings, and I was like, okay, fine, this is going to take a longer time because it had to be precision, because obviously you have to cut straight down the onion, and that can be a little bit difficult, to say the least. So I cut in the onions, and I'm like, I need to talk, I need to say something. Can I just cut them in half and make it so that they're a little bit smaller, and that they're still going to be as good? She was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine, that's what I expected you to do. And I was like, thank you. I thought I was going to be here for such a longer time. And so obviously I cut up the 6 onions, and then what we had to do is we then rearranged all of the furniture that we actually have. And it's kind of incredible to think of how much furniture we actually have, because when I found out that we were having just above 40 people come, I was like, there's no way in hell we have enough furniture to cover that amount of people. I would have been wrong, and I was very wrong. We had enough furniture. We had is it gazebo? We had a thing that you put up and you can put stuff under it so that all the food went underneath it. I was then told that I needed to learn drinks and different types of wines and Prosecco's, and I found out how to make Pimm's. Had to cut up some strawberries, some cucumbers, and mint. I was like, oh, so this is how you make Pimm's. Okay, little bit of Pimm's, little bit of lemonade, mint, cucumber, and strawberries. Boom, it's golden. right? I had to learn that on the fly whilst people were coming in and be like, so, what can I make you? And I was just like, I am the bartender for today. I shall be assistance. Then you get a random person, come in and be like, yeah, so can I have a white wine? And I was like, do we have a white wine that's open? And a lot of the time I spent my time in the kitchen just basically sorting out drinks for everyone, making sure everyone was well kept, making Pimm's after Pimm's after Pimm's after Pimm's. And I didn't have to have a drink because I had to take some family members back to where they lived, so I just wasn't having a drink. So it was all good. It was a-okay. There was one time in the day though where I was happily making drinks for someone, and at this point it's been a steady flow of like people coming in. And it gets to one point of where there's like 3 individual groups of people, and each individual one, I'm like, okay, so what, can I get you a drink? And they're like, oh yeah, that'd be great. And I'm like, okay, so we have Prosecco, we have Pimm's, we have white wine, we have soft drinks, beers. What is it that you would like? And then another set of friends of my mum's would come in, and then I'd have to repeat myself. We've got Prosecco, and I hadn't even finished a drink. And at this point, it's got like 3 individual groups. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so I'll get you that. A lot of the male friends and the male partners were like, oh, just have a beer. And I'm like, thank the Lord. Thank you so much. The time where there was like 3 different people who were like, I want a Pimm's. I want a Pimm's with more lemonade. I want a white wine. And I'm like, this was my realization. I walked into my kitchen and went, what do I need again? What do I need? Luckily, I got everything correct, I think. But then again, I don't know if all the people that were there, right, were just being nice. We're like, it's fine. A person came in. I remember them asking, oh, can I have a white wine? And me instinctually just being like, it's Pimm's, it's fine. There you go. Giving them a Pimm's. Them looking at me and going, yeah, no, this is fine. I'm like, I'm pretty sure everyone's done that this evening. And I was on basically catering for all the food, making sure the food was warm, because basically it was like a later kind of like lunch dinner type thing, like late 3 p.m. type food. Everyone got in, then we put food out, and I was on like making sure that the food was kept warm, and the skewers where everything was sorted. So we did the vegetarian stuff first, grilled halloumi, that kind of thing, made sure it was all nice and warm, and then we like I said earlier, we had the skewers, and halfway through like of sorting out everything for the skewers, my sister was like, yeah, just put some stuff on it, on the actual skewers, to make it a little bit better. And you know me, I'm always a little bit extra. I like a little bit of extra when it comes to making food, and I immediately dived for the butter, and so a little bit of garlic. You know, chopped it all up, stirred that stuff, melted the butter down a little bit to get it a little bit, liquidy, and just went, and my God, they were great. We didn't put them on the barbecue because we didn't have enough space, which was fine, which was fair. So they had to go in the oven. But they were still delightful. The cooked mushroom, and it was actually really good. I'm not a massive fan of mushrooms. I know, shock. He's like a vegetarian and doesn't like mushrooms. Ooh. But it's like the texture and the weirdness. But if you hide it and if you shroud it in things, then I like it. So, but that was the first real experience of like me having like a nice mushroom. But again, it was covered in garlic butter. So, who's going to say no? Like, who's going to say no to garlic butter? Because that's what everyone enjoyed. And yeah, we had lots of, like, things. And I remember the first burger that I created was literally just a burger, halloumi, some red onion, little bit of burger sauce, and munched down on that. And then I just love the red onions, man. And I realised that I'm kind of, in these, like, social ideas and social, like, things that I go to with my mum, I'm just so not social. I was in the kitchen most of the time. I know all of these people that came to this party. I know most of them, and most of them were like old, like teachers that I met when I was in primary school, family friends, godmother, all these types of stuff, and everyone was really, really nice. But I'm just antisocial. I'm much more capable of talking to one person. I just didn't want to spend a lot of my time in a massive group of people. I was making sure everyone was well kept, looked after, you know, being the best host that I possibly can. I was told off for cleaning. I was trying to keep the kitchen clean. That all went to hell. And then it came down to it where I had a decent trip taking my family members on a drive home, and I think that was me sitting down in the car to take my my nan and my aunt back home was the first time I've actually sat down in approximately, at this point it's about 4 o'clock, 3:30, and I got up around about 9. Like 9 a.m. was the call to get in the kitchen. I was told that on Saturday. So from 9 a.m. to about 3:30, I was pretty much on my feet and didn't like really have a time to like stop. And I got in the car and my legs were like, oh my god, I'm dying. I'm actually dying. Why is this a thing? Why? And then I realized like I spend so much time in this chair for work and for like streaming that I'm just not used to being on my feet for a long period of time. I really need like a standing desk, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because, you know, your boy likes to sit. I like to sit on my big voluptuous buttocks. But I just realised that I'm just not built out for like these like big events. Like I love being around my friends and everything about my friends. Like it makes it a lot easier for me. But being around people that I kind of don't talk to on a regular basis is a lot harder for me. And that's just how I am. It's just people think, oh, you can talk to anyone. I'm like, yes, I can pretty much talk to anyone if I'm put into a situation. I'll probably ramble for about 20 minutes about absolutely nothing, and they'll be sick of me. But that will be the case. That will be what, you know, happens. And then I remember at one point I was just like, can I go upstairs and go to my computer? And my mum was like, Jack, you've been here literally all day. Yes, you can go away for a little bit. And I was like, thanks, see you in a bit. And I just came up here, chilled and relaxed, and kind of sat back and really went, all right, that's me good. That's me done for family events for a long time. I'm happy. I'm good. I don't need to worry about it. Everything is good in the world.